Can you imagine, out of the 26 million people we have in Kenya, more than 67% of youth are unemployed.
Wow.
And that is a disaster in the making that needs to be addressed, because we need to find ways that we can engage the government, we can engage NGOs and CBOs, and everyone in Kenya in the youth space to see what they can actually do. Because as a result of that, many young people are depressed, are into drug abuse, many young people are going through different stuff.
Yes.
And what you can do is to have a youth voice that can amplify their voices so that their issues are addressed in Kenya.
Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Whatever time you're looking at this, it's a joy to have you tune in to listen into this conversation. And today it's an amazing conversation we are having here. We are talking about matters national youth leadership.
Leadership is a privilege to actually serve people. It is a privilege to be in the space whereby you can influence people. It is a privilege whereby you're actually involved in the changing of lives of people and creating a lasting impact and a legacy to the young people that you're interacting with.
Did you know that in 14 years we have not had the NYC elections? And for the first time we are having them this July. And we are privileged today to host one of the presidential aspirants, Richard Miruka.
Yes.
This NYC is actually legally mandated to be the voice of the youth in this country, not just somewhere, a government body somewhere. It is supposed to be a voice of the youth. But over the last 14 years, if I ask a young person, do you know about the NYC? At least a bigger percentage have no clue what that is.
He'll be telling us about his bid for the presidential position. And we have a lot lined up for us to hear his manifesto, what strategy he has for the youth, and what plan he has to ensure that the voice of the youth is heard.
I come from one of the biggest slums in Kenya, that is in Kibra. And having interacted with a lot of people and young people in that space, have actually had first-hand experience of the frustrations of young people. And I'm just using Kibra as one of probably the largest slums that we have, with a big population of young people. And that reflects many other places, both rural and urban, of the issues that the youth are actually facing.
So, karibu sana Richard.
I have volunteered for the last 5 years to work on my own and probably through NGOs and CBOs to address some of these challenges that we have with the young people. And what I can tell you is the fact that I, as Richard Miruka, have gained enough experience to understand these are the issues and the challenges that are there, and these are the solutions. And so this is leadership that has tested and seen what are the actual issues that are there, not in theoretical terms, but in practical issues, because we have been engaging with them in very many spaces.
How do you foresee the involvement of the government in terms of the political side and its impact to the operations of the youth?
As I have said,
and I'm your host, Isaac Maura, and we want to appreciate Budi Creatives for helping us do this recording. Karibuni.
Good morning, Richard.
Good morning, Isaac.
It's amazing to have you this morning as we talk matters youth leadership. And I know that leadership is something that is close to your heart.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and why you are here today.
Yeah, so my name is Richard Miruka. Professionally, I am a software engineer.
Wonderful.
But also a youth leader and a technical mentor, doing a lot of mentorship, doing a lot of programs with the young people. And my heart is all out to the youth of this generation as a leader, because of how I interact with them, the struggles that we go through. That is why probably I'm here today, for us to discuss about youth and leadership.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of how you came to be where you are today. So that you say about you're passionate about youth leadership and all that. How have you seen this develop over time? Maybe from your growing up and your upbringing.
People say leaders are born, which is partly true, but I also believe leaders are made. Right?
Yes.
you could be born with the gift of leadership, but it is how over time you continue to sharpen yourself and involve yourself in the space of leadership.
Yes.
That you actually realize and sharpen your leadership skills. To begin with, I have been a leader all through my life, ever since I was in primary school all the way to high school.
Amazing.
You know, those days when you are a captain in school, all the way to campus when we were vying to be the SG of JQuat back in 2018.
Wow.
After campus, I've been in very many spaces in the youth leadership cycles. I've been a youth leader in IDC JQuat. I've been a youth leader at CITAM. I've been a youth leader in very many CBOs and NGOs. And as time has gone by, I have realized it is something that has shaped me and baked me to be where I am today as a youth leader.
Wow.
Because I have matters and issues of the youth at heart. Yeah.
Wonderful. When you look at your leadership journey in all those different spaces and different interacting with different people, what can you say leadership has taught you?
Leadership has actually taught me that leadership is a privilege to actually serve people. It is a privilege to be in the space whereby you can influence people. It is a privilege whereby you're actually involved in the changing of lives of people and creating a lasting impact and a legacy to the young people that you're interacting with. And I think above everything, it has taught me that a good leader is a leader who listens to his people. A good leader is a leader who gives direction. A good leader is a leader who takes a firm stand, especially on the matters of integrity. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. When you look at your leadership journey, and as you've mentioned in different spaces, are there defining moments in your journey that has shaped the person that you are?
I have had very many defining moments through my journey, but I think one particular one that I seriously remember and one that has stuck with me is the fact that I have been, I think, when you're working with young people and leading young people and being able to see them change their lives, probably from one perspective, from hopelessness to people that have a hope, from joblessness to people that can actually have something meaningful that they can sell, probably through a skill or through different forms of what they are doing. My experiences basically have been around seeing a turnaround around the lives of young people that have interacted with. That has been my highlight. Every place you see that impact. Someone was a drug addict. As you continue to work with them, they quit drugs, they change their lives, they gain a skill, they become something meaningful in their lives. And that has been the highlight of everything that I'm doing. Both corporate work and also as you interact with a number of people in different spaces. Yeah.
Amazing. Why young people?
Why young people? To start with, in Kenya, we have a population of over 26 million who are youth. That is people between the age of 18 and 36. And as you look at this population, it's a population of people who are knowledgeable, people who have skills, and people who have gone to school because they have had the privilege. The generation of you and I who have had the privilege of being in school and studying. But as time has gone by, there are a lot of frustrations that you see young people have, joblessness, mental health. There's so much that is going on around young people. And part of what we can do is to be part of those young people that are bringing a change instead of being noisemakers and using what is called escapism, blaming this situation to someone else and to other people and not being there to take the responsibility. And I think in my interaction, that is what has influenced why I so much work with young people in the different spaces that I work with.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. And I believe that is the reason you want to vie for the to be the president of the National Youth Council. Yes.
It is exactly why I'm actually giving myself out to be the president of the National Youth Council.
Wonderful.
Why? The National Youth Council actually is a statutory body formed by an act of parliament known as the National Youth Act, Cap 132, that came into effect in the January of 2010 and had an election once. But since 2012, for the last 14 years, it has not had any election.
Yes.
This NYC is actually legally mandated to be the voice of the youth in this country, not just somewhere, a government body somewhere. It is supposed to be a voice of the youth. But over the last 14 years, if I ask a young person, do you know about the NYC? At least a bigger percentage have no clue what that is. And I feel part of what we have been doing, because we've been in the streets, we've been in many places, part of what you can do is to revive a body that has been legally mandated to actually be a voice of the youth, to advance the youth agenda across government. It is why I believe it has come to a time that we have to revive the NYC, to have a strong leadership that can actually speak to the truth to power, that can address the issues that the young people are facing. Can you imagine, out of the 26 million people we have in Kenya, only 67%, or rather more than 67% of youth are unemployed. And that is a disaster in the making that needs to be addressed, because we need to find ways that we can engage the government, we can engage NGOs and CBOs, and everyone in Kenya in the youth space to see what they can actually do. Because as a result of that, many young people are depressed, are into drug abuse, many young people are going through different stuff.
Yes.
And what you can do is to have a youth voice that can amplify their voices so that their issues are addressed in Kenya. Yeah.
Wonderful. So it's very important, I think, what you have mentioned about being the voice of young people. So how has it been? And as you've said, since 2012, we have not had any other election. What has been happening with the body that was created that time? What has been happening that will change now that after these elections?
I would not want to mention probably much of the failures or probably the strengths that have been there. But I think one of the things that I've said is that when you mention the National Youth Council, how many young people know about the National Youth Council? Definitely, if we have a body that is legally mandated to carry the agenda of the youth that has not been heard by the youth, then it means there is a problem somewhere. That is why probably you've not had those elections for the 14 years. And what you want to do, first of all, is to have a strong youth leadership, because one of the things that you must realize as young people is that everything rises and falls
with leadership. So once we have a strong youth leadership that can actually advocate and advance the youth agenda, then many young people can actually come in and pull in and bring in their ideas, and those ideas are now can be turned into policy formulation. Because in as much as we respect the older generation who have been there before, we also need to understand that we need to have a synergy in terms of what the old generation is doing and also what the young generation is doing. Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. So you have mentioned about what needs to be done in regards to the kind of voice we want to voice to the government for the young people. What makes you perfect to help the youth bring out this voice? In terms of maybe what is your skills, in terms of academic background, what things have you, apart from your leadership skills that you've talked about, what other things qualify you for this position?
You see, we have leadership that is leadership because of you're in a position of power, and leadership that has interacted with people and understood the actual issues that are facing the people. I come from one of the biggest slums in Kenya, that is in Kibra. And having interacted with a lot of people and young people in that space, have actually had first-hand experience of the frustrations of young people. And I'm just using Kibra as one of probably the largest slums that we have, with a big population of young people. And that reflects many other places, both rural and urban, of the issues that the youth are actually facing. And so I have volunteered for the last 5 years to work on my own and probably through NGOs and CBOs to address some of these challenges that we have with the young people. And what I can tell you is the fact that I, as Richard Miruka, have gained enough experience to understand these are the issues and the challenges that are there, and these are the solutions. And so this is leadership that has tested and seen what are the actual issues that are there, not in theoretical terms, but in practical issues, because we have been engaging with them in very many spaces, be it barazas, be it online spaces. These are things that we have engaged with. And I believe it is why I feel I am voting myself, because I have understood the issues. And a part of a good leader is that you seek for an opportunity to address those issues that you've met as you go along with your journey.
Wow, wonderful. So what strategy will you be using?
Well, I also have to say that the National Youth Council, having been legally mandated, has to work within the confines of what the law has to say. And part of what that can be, or how that can be achieved, is to lobby the government, especially across government, that we have a youth-centered agenda across government, in every ministry, in every docket of government, that we have the youth-centered agenda at the center of it all.
Wow.
Because without that, this generation that we have will be the leaders that are there tomorrow.
True.
Of course, we do not have to wait until tomorrow when we're the leaders of tomorrow. We have to start shaping the changes that we need right now. We have to start forming the future that we want right now as the young people of this country.
Wow, wonderful. I believe with the experience we have in Kenya, that is not very easy in terms of getting the government to do something for the people. I mean, we have seen in different sectors that at times there has been need for even people to go on the streets to demonstrate, just to have their voices being heard, or to get the attention of the government. So I don't know how best or what strategies you'll be using to lobby for these policies that favor the youth and all that.
First of all, I want to begin by saying that for us going in the streets in June 2024, and I remember I and a few friends of ours were in the streets, and we raised our voices and everything.
Yes.
Part of what we have not realized as young people is that a divided majority will always be ruled by a united majority. And so we need to come from these spaces of we are leaderless and tribeless to the space of whereby we can actually organize, all right, and lobby. And as we do this, get to these spaces whereby we have enough youth leaders raising their voices and lobbying the government, because a united voice is better than when you are just a divided voice.
Yes.
Because as I've said before, leadership, in every space that you are in, there is leadership. Be it at your workplace, be it at home in your family, leadership has to influence this. And how am I going to do this? One of the things that we must address is that not every young person has the best interest of the young people we have in Kenya.
Yeah.
We have to look for leaders that have integrity. That's number one. Number two, as the NYC and the mandate that it has constitutionally, it can actually enter into agreements with CBOs, NGOs, and the government at large. Wow. Because it is not just the NYC, but permanent secretaries from different aspects of the government that also form part of the oversight committee. And what this should do is to engage the government, especially on any agenda that the issues have, including on the national level, whereby whether be it the budget making process, the NYC is mandated with its leaders to be in that space and be part of the budget forming policies and the budget making process. So that now, as we continue to lobby, because it is something that is constitutionally mandated, and as we continue to mobilize the youth, then with a well and structured representation of the youth, the government will be able to hear us. Otherwise, if we continue to be tribeless, partyless, and leaderless, there is little that we can achieve with that. Yeah.
Wow, wonderful. Let's believe that the leadership will bring some order and direction to that. As a presidential aspirant, I believe you have mentioned that the youth are going through many issues.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you want to focus on all those issues, or you have certain key agendas that you want to focus on for your campaign and for your leadership strategy.
Number one, we have so many issues, and that is true. And for whichever leader that is there, you actually have to come up with a strategy. And even as I campaign and I do all that, there are 5 specific things that I've thought about that I feel will be the best solution for what we have. One of them is that we need to engage the government to expand more on what we call the digital infrastructure, or rather the digital superhighway. You know, we have thousands of graduates who have done courses, have degrees, but do not have jobs. But one of the platforms that can change the lives of many young people is through the tech space. The tech space offers an opportunity to many people. That is number one. Number two, we also have to consider that out of the all those that go finish high school, probably 40% go to campuses. But we have at least 60% that are not able probably to go to campuses. So what about us considering increasing the number of TVETs and having enough trainers so that people can also get skills? Because I believe the quickest way to change a young man's life is through a skill. For example, we have content creators, we have those who are doing digital marketing, and those who are in the online space. Those are young people who have already achieved a skill that they're actually using as a means of their livelihood.
True.
So I do believe the tech space should be one of them. As a matter of fact, it is estimated that by the year 2030, AI will have created at least over 78 million jobs. And part of that, 45 million of those jobs will be in Africa. So you see, once we engage the youth in that space, then we can create more job opportunities so that we can try to avoid that frustration. We also have what is called RPL. That is recognition of prior learning. We have so many young people who have been doing things, and because they do not have the skill set or they do not have papers, then it becomes very hard for them to break into any industry in terms of work, because they do not have the papers to show their qualification.
True.
It is part of what we have to push the government to actually do, that we can actually have what we call the recognition of prior learning. So those who are skilled, be it in automotive, be it in engineering, in whichever sector that they have gone into, the Juakali industry, these young people can actually get certificates of recognition that can actually help them to be absorbed in the larger industry. And lastly, is to push for the government to advance more on manufacturing. I can assure you, according to Afrobarometer 2025 report, 45% of the youth in Kenya have thought about leaving this country. Young people are actually saying it is better to die trying than to suffer in this country. And why is that? It is because our economy is not creating enough job opportunities for the young people. So what is it that we can do? We have to tell whichever government is in power, it has to focus more on manufacturing and enabling the economy to be in such a way that it can provide opportunities for the young people. So those are some of the things that we can push for in the youth space and in the youth agenda. Yes.
Wow, amazing. That's quite an agenda there. And I think looking at them, a lot of policy changes, lobbying is required to be done.
Yes.
And I believe that is part of the strategy.
Yes. And also, one of the things that we also have to lobby is for the involvement of youth in leadership and governance. And I think it is time that we, as young people, through our own mobilization, try as much as possible to lobby the youth to be involved in the spaces that are involved with leadership and governance. Why? Because it is assumed that a young person is inexperienced. But wisdom detects that in as much as you might be experienced and you have a vision and a mission, you can actually be a leader in this country. You can actually share your vision with other young people. We can actually create carcasses and circles whereby young leaders can emerge, young leaders with a vision, young leaders with conviction. And this conviction has to be for the fact that they have to be leaders of integrity. Not just any leader, because the issues we are facing in this country, such as corruption, unemployment and all that, it is system designed out of the fact that we do not have young leaders, or rather even the leaders that are there are not leaders of integrity. That has to be the focus, that we are actually looking for leaders of integrity who have a stand. Not just any leader, because at the end of the day, once a leader gets there and they do not have the vision and values and the heart of the young people of Kenya, then it is very easy to water down the vision that is there. But if you have leaders who have a conviction, leaders who have a stand, leaders of integrity, then we have leaders that can actually change policies, that can actually push for change, the clamor for change in this country.
Wow, amazing. Is there, do you think, or do you foresee, or how do you, because I believe this is happening in, first of all, NYC is kind of an arm of the government. So that it's the government trying to hear the voice of the youth. How do you foresee the involvement of the government in terms of the political side and its impact to the operations of the youth?
As I have said, the NYC is a statutory body. You know, a statutory body is legally mandated to enter into agreements. All right? It can execute with a legal mandate. All right? So the NYC actually has to engage government as a representation of the youth.
Almost independent.
Almost independently. Of course, with the powers that be, the NYC has to engage them to the point that they can actually hear. Because, again, the NYC is under the Ministry of
Youth Affairs,
Sports and Youth Affairs, all right? So, in as much as it is under this ministry, its work is to lobby so that as it lobbies, those policies can be pushed through the government agenda, through the CS and through the PSS and all ministries that are concerned about the youth affairs. So there is the political side, but there is also the independent side, that this is what you are lobbying for, this is what needs to be done, this is where we are at as the youth. And we have to push for that. And as we do that, because you see, for the last 14 years, there has been a silence. And probably that silence has not helped us in any way. But if we had a strong leadership that can voice that, then definitely the government will hear. Because right now, I can assure you, we have so many councils in Kenya. Where I come from in Kibra, we have what is called the Nubian Youth Council. And we have so many other youth councils around the country trying to address that. Part of what the NYC should actually do is to bring together all these youth councils so that as much as possible, lobby for all issues that the issues are bringing, because they're actually many and they are diverse, depending with the regions that we are in. And so as we push through government, the government can actually see this is where the issue of the youth are in this particular region. And this is the solution and how it needs to be addressed. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. So with the operations of the NYC, how do you anticipate, especially the fact that it's under the Ministry of the Youth and Sports, the Sports and Youth Affairs, and this is a ministry that is funded by the government. How is NYC funded, and does this have any political strings attached to it?
So the NYC, of course, is under the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Ministry of Sports and Youth Affairs. But I have said it is a statutory body, meaning it is a body that is legally mandated to be the voice of the youth in this country. And how does that separation, because we have to have what is called the separation of concern, or rather the separation of powers. The NYC has to be the voice. That is number one. And as a voice, through the CS, whatever issues we are lobbying will be presented to government. And whichever ministries within government are involved with the youth affairs, then definitely whatever we are pushing for the youth affairs will actually be heard through government. Because part of the changes that can happen in this country is not always fighting government, but rather helping the government to formulate policies that favor the youth, that address the issues of the youth. It cannot always be that we have to fight it, all right? It has to be that we voice and make our voice so strong that the government has to heed to what we are saying. Because remember, the NYC is representing the youth population in Kenya. over 26 million people. It cannot be that that voice cannot be heard in the cabinet and in the government. It has to be heard. That is the voice that we need to have. That is why I'm saying we are at a point of organized mobilization that can actually bear fruit even as we raise our voice together. That is, those two actually are very different because one, we are voicing and making the government hear our voices, and the relevant ministry now brings towards this the solutions that we are providing and the issues that we are trying to raise so that they can be addressed. That way, it is a win-win in both situations, so that there is no much influence in terms of what the NYC is doing, but also the NYC is working in tandem with government to solve the issues that we are trying to address.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Another thing, young people have been accused of not fully understanding issues in terms of they have, especially after the political unrest with the Gen Z protests and all that, other people have accused Gen Zs that they don't understand issues in depth, so that they are lobbying for unrealistic things that don't seem very workable in the, or to be implemented in a short while. How do you how realistic are your agendas in terms of, are they workable in terms of budget requirements and all that? How do you intend to go around that?
So I want to say, you've been in leadership before, and we are leaders. And the biggest thing that we have that makes a lot of people feel the youth are not really understanding what government does is that as a leader, there are decisions that you have to make that are very hard that people may not understand. That is number one. But because of where you are, you actually understand why each decision has to be made the way it is. You see, the challenge we have had is that now when those decisions are made, or that step has to be made, one of the things that we must do is to properly communicate so that people can understand why probably something is happening in this particular manner. Because I believe, in as much as we say the youth are uninformed, this is one of the most learned generation that we have. It's tech savvy. It's a generation that is exposed to the internet. It's a generation that have news at the touch of a button, you know. So you see, it's not an ignorant youth. It's a youth that is well informed. It is a youth that asks the hard questions. And as it does that, what we need to do is to ensure, especially as the NYC, is to also have a proper way of communication and channels for young people to understand that. That is why I've said many of the young people need to be involved in the leadership and governance space, whereby we can actually engage to understand governance and why probably some things are being done in a particular way. In as much as we would want to push for this change, you also must understand probably this is how things are running. And as we do that, then now the dissatisfaction and frustration that comes with as a result of feeling the government is not understanding can also help in terms of people understanding this is how things are flowing. All right. Again, also, the NYC should lobby for much of civic engagement and education to the young people, especially on all matters that are touching on their issues. Because you see, why the young people feel unheard by the government is because there is less of that being done at the moment. You'll just see a CS, you'll see probably someone else talk about this. But if you had a structured way through the the NYC on some of how some of these issues can actually reach to the grassroots level through the leaders that we have in NYC, it would have made it easier for the young people of Kenya to understand the issues and how they are also being addressed.
Wonderful.
Yes.
How we have many youth in Kenya, many young people. Would you profile or try to describe the kind of young person that you want to help in terms of when you look at these issues? You know, there's the issues to do with the digital superhighway and just lobbying the government to improve the tech infrastructure of the country, TVET and all that. How does this young person look like? What is their need? Because I imagine there's a young person who just wants to put a meal on the table. How does this young person look like?
Actually, it is not even a very hard thing. It's as simple as a young person whose Article 3 of the Constitution is met. All right? One that can have an opportunity to create, one that can have an opportunity to work, one that can access medical, the medical facilities and treatment if you're unwell. It is a young person who can actually go out and explore and create for this country. One of the things we must realize is that the young people in Kenya are very creative, they are very hardworking. And all they're asking for is that space whereby things are actually, the environment is favoring them to be able to pursue their dreams, to pursue their goals, and also achieve the basics of what humanity needs. All right? That be it food, shelter, and clothing, just a simple life. It does not have to be complicated. And that is why Article 43 of the Constitution clearly states what that is, the basic needs of humanity, and what our Constitution has granted unto us in this country.
Wonderful. How does the first 100 days of your, if you get this position, how do those first 100 days look like? Especially owing to the fact that this is almost like a pilot program in terms of the fact that since its establishment, we don't have somebody who has been there. We've seen what they have done, how the operations look like. How do you foresee the things that you'll start doing immediately you get into office?
My first 100 days would be, first of all, have a very strong formation of leaders in the NYC. Part of that is that we know in the NYC, majorly it's volunteers, leaders who are willing to volunteer to serve the country. And if you look at it, 6 ward delegates in 1,425 wards in the country, that is close to 8,865 delegates in the country. All right? So all these delegates, we need to form such a strong leadership structure so that now every issue, because you remember, if you can just explain, the elections happen in 3 phases: the ward level, the constituency level, and then in the National Congress. So with this, such a structure that is well formed, we can actually now be lobbying for all these issues through, I do not want to use that term, but it's from the bottom all the way up, all right? From the grassroots level all the way up, so that information can trickle and we have a strong system everywhere in every part of this country. So that because of that system now, once that is well established, then now we can start lobbying in different regions, be it in Wajir, be it in Kwale, be it in Busia, all the way to Kakamega, all the way, in all parts of the country. We have such a strong grassroots movement that now starts to bring the different issues. And you see, as we do that, probably in the constituency level, part of what you can do is to lobby the MPs. And also in the county level, to lobby the county, that these are the challenges that need to be addressed. As the government is trying to address this, the county should also address this. Because that way we have a structure that is well aligned and good accountability for us to advance the youth agenda across the country. That is what I'd want to do. First of all, to revive and ensure that we have a strong grassroots mobilization and a strong grassroots leadership that can actually voice the youth of the issues of the youth.
And this is the delegates that it's the delegates that form that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. So how can people participate? How can young people participate in the upcoming elections? Is there information out there about how this people can go about this?
At the moment, there has been mobilization going on, but I think very few young people know about it. It is why we have gone out of our way to try to mobilize as many people as possible. It is as simple as this. If you are a young leader in this country and you are a person that would volunteer to serve, because I think part of what I'm saying at the moment is that leadership should be about volunteership. not about the monies and the tenders that you can influence there, but rather the policies that you can formulate that can change the lives of people in this country. So the young people can volunteer to actually present themselves as leaders to join the NYC as delegates in the ward level. And once they are nominated and then elected, then they can go all the way up to the National Congress. How do you participate? You quickly go into, you go to the NYC website. Under elections, first of all, register as a voter. Because it is impossible for you to be participating in the NYC elections having not registered as a voter. So you need to register as a voter.
This is a separate voting, the voter registration from the one that we know.
Yes, but of course, before that, you must have been a registered voter in your ward. That is number one. Under the IABC system, you must have been a registered voter. That is number one. Number two, you must also register in the NYC website. And once you do that, as a leader, aspirant, of course, they will communicate the dates. Then you can, of course, get the nomination form where people can nominate you as a leader because you've been interacting with young people in your region or in your area. And then on the 5th of July, that is now when ward elections will take place. Young people can vote you in. And those who are elected as delegates will now have to go to the constituency level. And in the constituency level, the delegates that have been elected in the ward level will actually now elect 2 representatives, a male and a female, to go and join what is called the National Congress. In the National Congress, 290 constituency multiplied by 2 delegates, that is 580 delegates. In the national level, or rather in the National Congress, 8 members will be elected by the National Congress. And that is where I come in because I am vying to be part of the 8 elected delegates and of course, the president of the National Youth Council.
Wonderful. Good. So, as we bring this to a close, what as if you get to be the president, what I believe you'll be serving for 3 years.
Yes.
What vision or what kind of Kenya and youth base do you want to see at the end of the 3 years that you'll be serving?
What I would want to see in the space of 3 years, first of all, is to have a vibrant National Youth Council that every young person in Kenya will know we have a representation of our voice in the national level. That is number one. Number two, there are the 5 pillars that I've mentioned about what I need or what we need to push for to lobby the government so that we can tackle the issue of unemployment and the pressures that the young people are having. Those are things that I would want to see come to fruition. Of course, I do not want to make a promise that we will be able to achieve all that. The only thing that I can guarantee at the moment is that these are things that we will fight and push for to the level of our ability and to the best of our strength, as long as we are able to push this as a country. And lastly, I envision whereby the agenda of this every government that will become, whether it's this one and the one that is to come after 2027, will be a government that has a youth-centered agenda across, be it the national government, be it the county government. It is a government that has a youth-centered agenda across, so that because we have, the young people have the energy and have the vision of changing our country to actually be the first world country that we want, because of the innovations, because of the energies, because of the very many things that the young people are doing in Kenya. And so if you have a youth-centered agenda across government, then we are going to have a rapid economic growth because of what the youth are actually doing in this space to actually change our country.
Wonderful. Good. Do you have any, as we close it, do you have any message for a young person in Kenya? You can address them.
For the young person in Kenya who has had dreams crushed, who has had ambitions quashed, I want to encourage you this time that we first of all have to take a responsibility. Take a responsibility and participate in this process of electing the National Youth Council leaders. As you do that, I want to assure you that that voice has been heard. There comes a time that a generation has to rise. and it has to choose to take the most difficult path to change its future. And it is for that reason that I, as Richard Miruka, present myself as the president of the National Youth Council. Please take a step, vote, vie, let us meet and engage on agendas and issues that will change this nation and will change the face of the youth of this country. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Richard, for allowing us to have this conversation. I believe that most of us have learned, those of us listening and watching have learned something about the National Youth Council, and that they will be ready to participate as the dates roll out.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Asante.